Hello and welcome. My name is Susan, and I draw and share my progress here with you pretty much every single day. In today's video, while you're watching this drawing come together, I want to share some thoughts I've had lately about social media, algorithms, and the idea of chasing trends versus just focusing on your own path. So here's the thing, social media is designed to reward whatever is getting the most attention in that moment. It doesn't matter if it's a funny cat video or trending song clip or some new challenge everyone is trying out. The algorithm sees it, it pushes it out to more people, and it spreads. And naturally, most content creators start thinking, I should do that too. Because it feels like if you don't, you'll get left behind. I've definitely noticed this in the art community as well. A lot of artists feel pressured to add trending music or make things that just fit the latest viral format, or to use certain hashtags that supposedly get you more reach. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that if it makes you happy, but for me personally, I've decided pretty much quite early on not to chase after those things. I treat my channel almost like a sketchbook. I show up, I draw, and I share. That's it. I have stopped trying to add background music. I never research for a viral hashtag or trend or add any trendy audio clips. And honestly, it feels good that way. It feels clean. It feels like the focus is on the drawing itself and on the progress of improving day by day. Now, if I spend my limited energy chasing trends, I wouldn't have nearly as much energy left behind for the things that actually matter to me. Getting better at drawing. For me, the skill is the reward. A viral video or a spike in views, that's only temporary. But every sketch I complete, every portrait I attempt, even if it's not perfect, those add up over time. I used to think I needed to go viral in order to gain an audience. But the more I draw, the more I realize that kind of instant attention doesn't really help me build what I want. I want a sustainable community, not just a burst of exposure. And I want my progress to be steady, not tied to whether or not I use the latest trending sound. And if I'm being honest, I don't really want the kind of attention that comes overnight. I used to read every single comment and I tried to respond to everyone. At first, it felt really exciting, but after a while, it just became overwhelming. To be honest, nowadays, I still read a comment, but I don't reply to most of them anymore. And sometimes I feel guilty about that, but I've come to accept it. Because here's a reality. If the community grows bigger, the overwhelm will only grow too. If I'm not careful, I could end up spending more time trying to keep up with what others want from me and less time actually drawing. And that's not why I'm here. I think a lot of this comes down to valuing what's important for yourself or individualism, knowing what's truly important to you and staying grounded in that. For me, again, it's the drawing, it's the daily practice. It's seeing the progress build up slowly over months and years. And that's why I don't dread over the publicity or exposure or the numbers. To me, they are all distractions. Sometimes I think about the younger version of myself who used to want approval from everyone, my parents, my friends, my teachers, even random strangers. I just wanted everyone to like me. And back then, maybe I would have chased over trends more, just to get that approval, get that dopamine. But now I see things differently. I don't need everyone's approval to keep drawing. I just need my own commitment to keep going. And I think perhaps that's the part that many people struggle with. Social media makes it so easy to compare yourself. You see someone else go viral, you see their follower count explode, and you think, Why not me? Mine is so much better. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But if you zoom out, you realize a viral moment doesn't actually guarantee anything. What really matters is whether you can keep showing up when the views aren't spiking, when the algorithm isn't favoring you, when it feels actually kind of quiet. That's why I focus on routine. For me, it's 20 minutes a day. That's very manageable for me. That's very sustainable. And because I'm not chasing attention, the routine feels calm instead of stressful. I think about it like this. Trends are like fireworks. They're bright, they're loud, they catch your attention instantly, but they fade just as fast. Consistent practice, on the other hand, is more like an LED light. It's steady, it's long-living, and it does its job perfectly quietly in the background. And personally, I'd rather be the useful LED light than the firework. Sometimes people ask me, don't you worry that without chasing trends, you won't grow as fast? Or you may just fade out by the algorithm? And my answer is not really. I think growth is nice, of course, but what matters more is just that I'm improving as an artist. Because that's something no algorithm can take away from me. So imagine 10 years down the line, social media might just get faded out. Maybe we won't have social media anymore. But for me, my personal growth will stay with me forever. Even if it's 10 years, 20 years, when I'm as old as an old lady and can't walk anymore, I can still draw. I also think about community differently now as well. I think a community built slowly, one person at a time, feels much more genuine than a crowd that just shows up overnight. The ones who stick around, they're here for the art itself. They're here for the progress. And that's exactly the kind of audience I want to build. So if you're someone who feels pressure to keep up with trends, or you feel discouraged when whatever you're sharing don't get the reach you're hoping for, I just want to say it's okay to let that go. It's okay to move at your own pace. You don't have to follow every wave. You can create your own rhythm, and in the long run, that's what will sustain you. For me, drawing every day has become less about what I produce and more about who I become. Each sketch is a small piece of growth. Each video I share is just a snapshot of where I am at that moment. And when I look back, I don't think I'll remember the number of views or likes. I don't remember how I've grew over the years on social media in terms of numbers. But I'll remember the feeling of sitting down, picking up my pen, and just getting lost in the process. So I guess to wrap it up, I don't chase trends, and I don't think I ever will. I do what I can manage currently to show up every day and do the bare minimum to share on social media, because what I truly chase is my personal progress. I chase consistency, and I chase a kind of calm joy that comes from knowing I'm on my own path. And if you're watching this, I hope you can take something from that too. Whether you're drawing, writing, or creating your own way, I hope you remember that you don't have to run after what's in right now. You can simply show up, do your work, and let your progress speak for itself. So while I'm sketching here, I thought I would also take a moment to talk about the tools I'm using right now. For this portrait and pretty much all of my recent portrait studies, I've been using a combination of Faber-castell Pitt Artist Pens, the PIGMA BB Sakura brush pen in black, and the Tombow water-based ABT brush pens in really light shades. These have really become my go-to tools for daily sketches. One of the main reasons I like these pens is that they don't bleed through the pages of my sketchbook. If you ever tried acrylic markers or alcohol-based markers, you'll know exactly what I mean. Those can give you vibrant colors, but they almost always bleed through to the other side, which means you basically lose one full page for every sketch. With these pens, the ink stays on the page, so I can use both sides of my sketchbook without worrying. The ink in these pens feels almost like highlighters. It feels cleaner, and I don't feel like I'm wasting paper. The other reason I like working with these pens is the level of control they give me. The Sakura brush pen especially, it has this really nice bounce and flexibility that lets me get expressive lines without being too unpredictable. And the Tombow ABTs are water-based, so they blend gently without overpowering the page. It's just enough control while still giving me a little bit of playfulness. Now, when it comes to portraits, one thing that really helps is thinking about colors in terms of 3 tones. No matter what colors you're using, I always recommend picking a mid-tone, which acts as your base color, a darkest tone, which I'll use for the shadows and deeper details, and a lightest tone, which helps you capture the highlights. This way, you're not overwhelmed by too many color choices, and you can still create depth and dimension. For skin tones especially, this approach works really well. You can start with the mid-tone for the overall shape. Then layer in the darkest tone to define the features, like the eye sockets, under the nose, or the corners of the mouth. And then finally use the lightest tone to bring a sense of light back into the face. And what I like to do is I keep the lightest portions, just leave it blank. This sounds simple, but having these 3 shades can make a huge difference. Without that range, portraits can look flat. With it, even a quick 20-minute sketch starts to feel more dimensional and alive. I think that's one of the reasons I enjoy brush pens so much. They make it easy to layer tones without overwhelming the paper or bleeding through. Especially the Faber-castell Artist Pens. They really let me stay focused on the drawing itself. The blending is not too prominent and allows the sketch lines to come through. So if you're just starting out with portraits, if you're looking to try some new tools, I definitely recommend experimenting with these pens. They're really forgiving, they're practical, and they give you enough flexibility to really play with tone and depth. Most importantly, a lot of these pens have a range of different colors to choose from, so they work really well with drawing in portraits. And that's what I'm doing here as well. As you can see, I'm just keeping it very, very simple by just using 3 different tones to create these daily sketches. I will say that while I really, really like the Faber-castell Pitt Artist Pens, I probably would not purchase another set unless they go on sale. They become really expensive at my local art supply stores, and they really don't last that long. So for the ones that I'm using, I purchased a set, and I've also purchased some individual pens. And over the span, I would say in the last probably a few months, I can't remember. I'll have to look back on my progress videos to double check. But essentially, I've run out of every single one of them. They just slowly go out of commission, run out of ink. So I am now fading to use other pens. I still really, really like using brush pens, and I may still decide to go back and purchase more Faber-castell, but that is one of my pet peeves. I don't like pens that go out of ink too quickly, so I'm not sure. Would you purchase them? Let me know. Thank you for spending this time with me. And now let's get back to the drawing. Hope you enjoy.